Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Crypto Insider channel. I am the Crypto Insider, back with another cryptocurrency video for you today, May 11th, 2020. And it's the day of the halvening, so yeah, that's exciting, right? Everybody's all excited and pumped up for the halvening. It is what it is, and like I've been saying, generally you don't see parabolic runs on the day of the halvening, so I don't know that there'll be much to see. In fact, looking at the screen here at Live Coin Watch, it looks like we're in a bit of a dip. So let's look briefly at some of the numbers. Before we do that, I'd like to say I am not a financial advisor. I don't sell any investment products. I'm not a tax accountant, stockbroker, race car driver, pastry chef. I am none of that. I am just a guy on the internet that's worked in this fintech space for a long time and continue to do so even as we speak. So, let's look at some of the numbers here. Bitcoin dominance, 67.4%, pretty much where it was the last time we made a video. And market cap up there, it's pulled back a little bit, I think, but still way higher than it was a month ago. If you look back to April 12th, 201 billion. We're up to 242 billion right now. So there was some money, I guess, coming into the market. It's not really a good gauge of whether you should invest in a particular coin or not, but I do like looking at it from an overall sense of the market type of perspective. But I pretty much disregard it entirely when it comes to investing in any particular coin. Bitcoin is up 2.24% from yesterday, but it looks like, we had a sell-off. So still, if you bought Bitcoin in the past week, you're probably actually down a little bit. It was up near it even broke the $10,000 mark, if I recall correctly. XRP 19.5 cents. It's down 0.56 from yesterday and 0.21% from an hour ago. These numbers are so small that they could turn green. It wouldn't surprise me. The big losers right now in the top 10 are Tezos and Link, both of which are positions here that we have at the Crypto Insider channel. And that's the way it goes. I expect to see some weird trading patterns and some weird price actions around now with the halvening and people getting in and out of different coins and reacting emotionally to things. Our H bar is sitting at 3.4 cents. So we'll keep an eye on that as time unfolds here. I don't know that we're going to see any parabolic runs though in the next. I think the halvening is what, 3-4 hours away. I wouldn't expect to see any parabolic runs tonight. You may see some of these coins, XRP and Binance coins. Some of this stuff may turn positive, but it's probably going to be, I would say, sideways trading for a little while longer yet. Looking at the XRP technical analysis from Coinalyze, we got a few green indicators, but really it's mostly red. Not looking great. We have a gain of 4.11%. That's one of our only green numbers in the past month. We'll talk about that. There's a story out there today that some of the hodlers are getting restless. So we'll look at that. Here's a story from News BTC. Bitcoin risk crashing 30% in post-halving capitulation due to this factor. A brutal capitulation post-halving could send the Bitcoin price down by more than 30%, according to a top executive and as reported by Yashu Gola. Capriol Investments founder Charles Edwards fears that the cryptocurrency's operational cost would be 70% higher than its current price after May 12, 2020. He expects traders to run out of reasons to purchase Bitcoin after the halving FOMO ends. Yeah, really, I mean, the fundamentals are gonna clobber Bitcoin at some point. I don't know when that point is. Nobody does. You may be able to make some money in the short term on it. You may be able to make a lot of money in the short term on it, depending on how you trade and how much money you have to put in. But yeah, at the end of the day here, Bitcoin's going to fall by the wayside like the Model T Ford has fallen by the wayside. As Bitcoin traders wait for the event that will cut its supply rate by half, the top executive has cast uncertainties over an immediate price rally, and it says there could be a 30% crash ahead. Um, he said that he expects the Bitcoin price to fall by more than 30% after halving. He noted that the current cost of mining a block of Bitcoin would rise twofold after May 12th, leading miners to offload a huge chunk of their Bitcoin holdings to cover the operational expense. Production cost is about to double to 14,000, 70% above the current price, meaning it costs them 14,000 in resources to mine one Bitcoin. In the last halving, the price was just 10% below the production cost, and price and HR collapsed minus 20%. Without FOMO now, expect a big minor capitulation more than 30%. Having the third in Bitcoin's decade long existence has emerged as one of the most bullish narratives among traders and investors alike. The previous two events followed huge upside moves in the Bitcoin's market capitalization. Analysts believe that a reduction in the supply of Bitcoin entering market should push the prices upward. So, he's looking at the costs, risk versus reward, and if it costs you more to produce a Bitcoin than you can sell it for, it could cause some problems. We'll see. A lot of people, the road, um, the road to the broken prediction career is littered with people who've made statements about Bitcoins. We had people saying it would never be worth more than $1. And I would venture that any of you would happily buy Bitcoin for $1 if you had the opportunity. I know I would. From 11news.com, this is let's see who it's by. They really don't have an author, but it talks about some members of the XRP community, and they're debating the future of Ripple and the XRP token. Ripple XRP Army debates on the future of Ripple and the XRP token. Ripple XRP price falls by more than 10% within the 24 hours after losing key support at 22 cents, which was established yesterday. This was 22 hours ago. 22 horas. um, Ripple XRP has been enduring the bear market since 2018. Ever since the token reached its all-time high, it has been struggling to recover against the dollar. Many investors have sold out their tokens and stepped out of the market. Yesterday, the few members of the community left. Oh, I would say there's more than a few members of the XRP community left. Had a debate about the future of Ripple and the XRP token. Some prominent members of the community said that there is hope for the token, while some others said that they are not sure if the token will recover. One of the most prominent members of the XRP community, and we are live. Alex Cobb said that the XRP token was bullish throughout 2017. He pointed out that during the bull run, the XRP token surged from 23 cents to $3.84 within a few weeks. This reflected a 1,500% increase in price, and according to him, this means the token has strong potential. And the current price action doesn't mean that there is no hope for the token. Anything can happen at a moment's notice. That's true. Love or hate Alex Cobb, what he's saying is true. It's not necessarily the argument that I would go with. I think I like Arturo Portilla's argument a little better. A well-known member of the XRP community said that Ripple isn't getting enough credit in the cryptocurrency community, and I would add it's a consistent target of FUD and bad reporting and bad news that isn't true or that is overhyped. He said that the blockchain company has made a lot of effort in promoting a legitimate business model, increasing corporate adoption, and working with regulators at the same time. In his words, someday the anti-ripplers will have no option but to acknowledge what the company did for the whole industry in the early days of crypto, regardless of how bad they want to see Ripple failing. The fact is, no other company or group of companies has spent nearly the same amount of resources, time, and talent to bring legitimacy to the crypto space, and that is true. I was recently on a call yesterday with large institutional banks, and uh, we were talking about Swift, and we were talking about FedWire and ACHs and various different things that are going on in the payment space, and it's really a market that's heating up, and they're recognizing that cryptocurrency is out there, at least competing or starting to compete with some of those traditional groups. Unfortunately, not everyone. I should have recorded it. I would get in trouble if I started recording my calls and posting them on the interwebs. I'm sure of that. Unfortunately, not everyone in the XRP army had positive remarks for Ripple. Ripple investor known only as Stewart said the price performance of XRP is discouraging when compared to the token's potential. In his words, anytime I see the name Stewart, I think of that Mad TV sketch. That crazy older guy. Who was it? Was that Norm Macdonald? I don't. Who played Stewart? he, he was basically an overgrown child that was always, causing consternation and problems for everyone. XRP has the most potential. XRP has the best team Ripple pushing XRP into the largest trillion-dollar plus markets in the world. XRP has real utility being used today. XRP's price performance over the last few years has been pathetic for some investors. Being wrecked is not fun. No, it's not. At the time of writing, the XRP token was trading at 19.8 cents. This means that it's down by 10% against the dollar and down. Okay. So, a couple of things to unpack in this. The big comparison for any crypto, especially based on dominance, is Bitcoin. Everybody knows Bitcoin. Very few people know of any other cryptocurrency than Bitcoin. So you've got to understand that we are entrenched in this stuff, and we are viewing it for what it is. But to your average everyday Joe walking down the street, any cryptocurrency you mention is Bitcoin to them. Still. I think it's something like less than 1% of the world's population owns any sort of cryptocurrency. And so you're seeing a bit of a dichotomy between two things. One, the best known cryptocurrency has the worst fundamentals. There's no getting around it. It's kind of like everybody thinking when you say car, the Model T Ford. But since that's the only car they've ever heard of, that's the only one they're buying. So you have the highest price coin with the worst fundamentals, and you have one of the coins with the best fundamentals with the lowest price. At some point, those two things are going to reconcile against each other, and you're going to see. I don't know if XRP will overtake Bitcoin, but I do know that XRP and probably some more of the stable coins and more functional coins like Tezos and Chainlink will have an alt season and draw some of that market cap right out of Bitcoin, and that can happen very, very quickly. Once, especially once FOMO starts in, and that's what Alex Cobb was talking about at the beginning of the article. How fast it went up when it did go up. That can happen again. There's no doubt in my mind that it can. I wish I knew when, because that's That's the billion-dollar Winklevoss question and the Tim Draper question. But nobody really knows. My investment guidelines for myself are: don't buy more than I can afford to lose, and try to be as smart about it as you can. Have your scaled buys and scaled sells, laddered, whatever you want to call it, set up ahead of time if you can, and just keep going with it, because um, they didn't mention here in this article, but I was reading in another thread. They're starting to talk about hyperinflation. So a group of senators, Democratic senators here in the United States, have proposed a $2,000 monthly stimulus check. Doesn't that sound great to everybody? Well, that's why they proposed it. Um, it's a very smart political move. It probably has no chance of being adopted, but it's a very smart political move. What it does to people that don't have a background in economics, it says, we care about you, and we would like to give you this money to ensure you make it through these rough times. But more than that, way more than that, it puts the people that are in power, meaning the president and the Senate, in the position of saying, no, we don't want to give you $2,000 a month. And there are good reasons for it. But people aren't going to hear those good reasons. They're going to be, if we're coming up on an election and they're just going to hear, the Republicans want you to starve to death and they want your grandmother to die, and they won't give you this $2,000 a month that you so desperately need. Um, and the reason why they won't is because we're already in a point of being on the ledge of kicking off something called hyperinflation. And I know I've referenced it before, but it's something you definitely don't want to happen, because that $2,000 a month that they're going to give you will become worth about $6.50. And that's going to cause a whole lot of problems for people. But if you're holding crypto when that happens, you will see uh, you will see returns probably in the multi thousands of percents on just about any crypto that's in the top 10 at that point, if we get into a situation of hyper inflation. And you say, well, how can that happen? How can giving people money uh, cause that? Well, you can do it for a little while. You can do a $1,200 stimulus check. You might be able to get away with a few months of $2,000 to people. I don't know. I'm not that economically tuned in, but I do know that quantitative easing. Now, if you're not familiar with that term and you've seen it around Twitter sphere, what that means is when the interest rates are low, the central bank has a harder time manipulating the markets and keeping everything where it needs to be in their view. So what they do is they start buying things back, and what they're usually buying is government bonds issued by private banks. The idea is that those banks will then lend the money to customers. There'll be more money supply, and that will stimulate economic activity, and that will work too for a while. But both quantitative easing and unending stimulus will eventually push us off the ledge to hyperinflation. You can only generate money out of thin air for so long before it's worthless. You may as well change your currency to grains of sand, and everybody just go to the beach and scoop up a bucket, because that's about how much it'll be worth. And if you don't believe me, then think about it this way: if if we really want to help people out of poverty during this rough time, why not give everybody $25 million a month? Because then we'd all be rich, right? That's how it works. We'd all be out of poverty. We'd all be millionaires. Think about what would happen if everybody had $25 million a month coming. Think about how much you would have to pay for something, how much you would have to pay someone to work for you if you run a small business. if they had $25 million. Well, you'd have to be paying a lot more than that to get somebody to show up every day, because people aren't going to do it out of the goodness of their hearts. So everything snowballs at that point, and you end up, with the $29,000 gallon of milk or some weird number like that, just so that the economy can continue. I hope it's not a scenario we get into, but if we do get into a hyperinflation situation, it will be good for your crypto portfolio. I can guarantee you that. Um, I guess nothing's guaranteed, but I think it would be, unless they somehow manage to outlaw crypto in the U.S. Oh, this was just an article that I was reading for my own uh, stuff, my own knowledge, and I didn't want to really cover it here. I'm sorry about that. I left that up. We did send out a donation to at good XRP. Let's see if we can pull that up. We sent a small donation to at good XRP for each one of the new subscribers to the channel. We only sent out one XRP today. I haven't been putting out the videos in the normal daily stream. I've had a lot going on. Ziggy, the crypto insider mascot, the Black Labrador, the official mascot, is currently, as we speak, under anesthesia, getting a surgery done. So everybody, send good thoughts Ziggy's way. I know he will appreciate them, and so will I. But we do send some XRP off to charity for each new subscriber to the Crypto Insider channel. If you know somebody that might be interested in cryptocurrency, listening to me ramble about weird banking concepts, or is otherwise engaged, go ahead and refer them to the channel. We'll donate on their behalf too. It's not millions. We're not donating millions, but we do donate what we can. The music's been playing here, so I'm going to go ahead and pop up some additional videos for you to click on and continue your crypto insider journey. It's an interesting time in crypto. Keep your eye on the market, and I should be back soon.